welcome back to lesson 2 of the Engineering Science National course. I'm Mr. A. This time we're going to be really focusing on the different branches or types of engineers that we will look at this course. So, the first task I would like you to do, just on a page in your class notebook, there's one that's titled Lesson 2. Could you, from memory, list the names of the 7 different engineering branches or topics that we discussed during the first lesson? I would like you to try and do it all from memory. If you can't remember any, then give yourself a couple of minutes to see if it comes back to you. But then go back to the PowerPoint, look at the right answers, and then just type them in a different font so we can see how many are you managing to keep fresh in your head. So just go do that now. Okay, now that you've written the 7 different types of engineer, the whole focus of this lesson is to know the definitions of the different branches of engineers covered within this course and what does it actually mean. So to do that, we're going to do 4 different things that we'll check at the end of the lesson. Have we managed to do? First one is, can you name all 7 different engineering types or branches? After that, we are looking for you to be able to describe all 7. Then I am after you to list 3 pieces of knowledge that each one, as in each branch, needs to have. And then can you list 3 pieces or 3 skills that each of the 7 are required to have? So the 7 different types, you should have this written down already. Environmental engineer, civil, structural, mechanical, chemical, and then I've put electrical and electronics beside each other. Remember I said before the SQA allow you to sort of mix up the 2. They've never seemed to penalise someone for using one or the other, but the textbook that we'll be using for this course once we are in the school, which is the bright red National 5 Engineering Science course notes, lists the 7 different types, and a lot of the notes that you'll find on the class notebook might have the 2 different types. So there's no harm in electrical and electronics being kept separately. So that would be the catches there. Now, for the definitions, I have a page on the class notebook that has definitions for each. I'm not going to read that out to you. I'm going to give you a chance to read it. Now, to save you having to find it in the content library and engineering context and challenges, if you, on the PowerPoint, just click on the link, it'll take you there. You need to be in the PowerPoint. I have put this link on the Teams notebook as well, so you can just copy it and click on it there and the web view, and it'll open up a web page with the type of engineer definition underneath. So if you could just read through those, take your time, try and digest them, try and get them in your head, try and remember them. That would be the best thing to try and get stuck in your head at the moment. Just go do that now. Brilliant. You've had a chance to read them. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, remember we've got that questions channel, which is just like a news page on the team that you can just put in and be like, that one doesn't make sense, help me. More than happy to help. Now, there's lots of ways to remember things, lots of different techniques. You might know some that work for you already, or you might not. You might be like, I don't know, some things I remember, some things I forget. So we need to remember these 7 different engineering branches. This is like foundations of the course. We need them stuck in your head. I've got 2 methods here, and you don't have to do both. You can just do one. You can do both if you want. But I'm after you to pick one of these methods and try it to see if it works for getting these 7 different types of engineering in your head. So the first method is peer test. Now, I know we're not in school, you're not in a normal class, so you've not got someone sitting beside you that you can just do this with. Hopefully, you have someone at home, anyone at home. They don't need to know about engineering. All you need to do is give them that page from the class notes that we used in the last slide that's got all the answers. Then ask them to test you. They could read out the definition of what that branch of engineering does, or they could read out the names and ask you, what does a civil engineer do? And you can try and respond. They can compare what you say to the answer and say, yep, that's spot on, that's brilliant, or that's not quite right. Then you can read over it again and try again. The alternative, if everyone's at work or busy or unable to help you, is testing yourself. Now, this does require a wee bit of self-discipline, but you write down the answers from memory without the notes. Then you check. Have you got it right? Have you not? If you've made a mistake, right, read over it, then repeat. Try and write it down from memory without the answer in front of you, then check, have you got it right? You can do this on the class notebook again, or you can write on pieces of paper if you would prefer. Try one of these methods just now, see if it works to try and get this stuff stuck in your head. Okay, so now that we've covered this, what the different branches are, we want to think of particular things that the engineers would have to know. This is where the knowledge and the skills come in. Now, through the course, through the different topics, as you've seen from our course plan, you are going to build quite a lot of this knowledge and quite a lot of the different skills for each of the engineering disciplines. So we're going to be building on this throughout the year. But at this stage, you should know the sort of things that you're going to learn about and that they need to know, because this comes up in the exam every single year. So, what I've done, again, in the class notebook, content library, and in engineering context and challenges, there's a page called knowledge and skills. On the PowerPoint, you can click on this link, or alternatively, you can click on the link that's on the channel page on Microsoft Teams, and I'll take you straight there, save you faffing. What I want you to do is read through this. Now, there's quite a lot there. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills. You might be a wee bit overwhelmed when you first look at it and think, wow, like, this course has got a lot to remember. We're going to keep coming back to this stuff. We're going to keep testing and trying to make sure that it's stuck in your head. But you can try either one of the other methods from the last slide, the pure test or self-test, or the other thing that you could do is you could do like a matching task. Now, usually in school, I would have this on bits of paper and all printed out, so it was all pre-made. What you can do is just any scrap paper, it could be cardboard box from cereal, anything. Write down the skills, write down the type of engineer, chuck them all on the desk, and then try and match them together. And then check with the answer sheet, have you got them right? The more you practice, the more you draw this, the more it will get stuck in your head. Like I said, this is a question that comes up every single year in the National 5 exam. So this is one that, if you can nail it and get it right now, that has got some of the 110 marks that you need for that exam. So I'd like you just going through the knowledge, going through the skills, try and get them stuck in your head. Perfect. Now, today was a lot of knowledge. It was a lot of going through stuff, trying to get stuff stuck in your head. What I want to do is, now that we've done activities to try and remind yourself of them, I want you to do a wee check. Have we got them? So, in your space in the class notebook, last lesson, so the last PowerPoint, I explained the course assessment, and I explained there's an assignment in the exam. I want to check, have we got that knowledge still stuck in your head? So there's marks, a certain number for the exam, and a certain number for the assignment. I would just like you, on the notebook under lesson 2, pop in the answer, how many marks it is for each. If your brain's like completely blank and you're like, I have no idea, then, again, as usual, go back, look at the previous PowerPoint, find the answer, then put in the new page, but it's a different colour. So we know that's something that you had to check an answer for, but you've checked the answer and we know the answer. The next thing I'd like you to do, which is to recap from this, and you'll notice I'm building on your knowledge the last 2 lessons, is the types of engineer. I've made a Microsoft form. It's the exact same as Google Forms quiz, multiple choice. It's really easy. It's on the channel, the main channel of the Microsoft team. So it says it on the chat, but it's also along the top where it's got files and the class notebook, and then it will have this form called types of engineer. So you can click on it there, or you can click on it on the channel. There's 15 questions covering the types of engineer and also knowledge and skills that they require. I'd like you to try and answer those ones, and again, try and do it without your notes, because this is where we're checking for understanding. So, could you do those 2 tasks just now? Perfect. So, 2 lessons down. Brilliant for this week. The whole goal for today was, have we got the definitions and the background for each of the 7 different branches of engineering? The 4 areas I said we would choose to check. 1, can you name all 7? Try it right now. Can you? Pause the video. Can you name all 7? Once you can you describe all 7? Could you explain to me roughly what each one does? What's the difference between electrical and electronics engineers? Then, can you list 3 pieces of knowledge that each one has and 3 skills that each one would need? Now, doing the form, hopefully you've got some feedback for can you. At this stage, I would be saying to myself, if there's any of those 4 bullet points that I cannot do, this is your chance to go back through it and try it again. If there's something that doesn't make sense, go to the channel on the Microsoft Teams and ask for help, and I'm more than happy to give you more support. But this is your chance to check that you have understood this lesson. Thanks for your time. We're going to post up another video later in the week just to try and break it up, rather than the channel being full of lots and lots of tasks and slightly overwhelming. So you will get more work this week. We'll be going over the engineering impacts that can happen from engineering projects, so social, economic and environmental. That will be the next lesson. I'll post it up on Wednesday so that you can continue the engineering science work. Thanks for working hard. I hope you've enjoyed it.